after dusk and darkness has settled in. Daytime is gone. Sort of like the protests that happened across the country yesterday, over 1,200 cities and towns in the U.S. And just to give you an idea on how big they were, a small town in Maine that has about 6,500 people, 7,000 people, residents, population, about 500 people showed up to protest what's happening in the Trump administration. And this happened across the country. And it was not just in the USA. There were also protests in Europe, in Berlin, in London, and Paris. And the motto or the slogan was hands off protests. And there were over 500,000 people estimated around the country. Some say maybe 1 million, but we don't know the final numbers till they come in. But it's the largest protest they've had so far because of all the arbitrary, illegal actions that the Trump administration has taken in many agencies around the country that people are finding that are destroying the country. And pretty much the slogans that you saw everywhere, for example, in Europe, it was hands off Greenland, hands off Europe, all of it, and many other signs like that. Around the US, there were signs that were demanding hands off Social Security. They're shutting down offices around the country as we speak. They're saying they're not cutting Social Security, but services are cut, which hurts people getting services or information about their offices. But other sides say hands off Medicare, hands off Medicaid, hands off immigrant rights. Given everything that's been going on, the initial idea was let's deport the criminal undocumented immigrants. And now it's turning into deporting green card holders like Mahmoud Khalil over protesting, exercising his First Amendment right. A green card holder married to a U.S. citizen. We having people that are here legally under a refugee status or asylum, and they're canceling their asylums, they're canceling their refugee status, and they're picking them up and sending them off, even to the wrong country and for the wrong reasons. Like it's happening in El Salvador, where innocent people, the only crime was to be here maybe illegally, or their legal status was canceled, but they were not criminals. Granted, others are as well. We are to, yes, get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. But we cannot let abuse take over and become a something worse. An arbitrary abuse of firing people right and left without caring, cutting even veteran services. That's another sign that was going around. Hands off veterans services. Hands off children's education. It was a huge protest in all cities around the country, not all cities, but over 1,200 cities. And it was a major sign. But the key thing is to keep doing this protest. Also, conservatives and right-wingers and Trumpers complaining about the protests, whining, being upset about people protesting. Like it bothers them that they're exercising their freedom of speech, a constitutional right in America. And you don't have to, I don't have to quote them. You can go online and find all those comments and all those conservatives decrying people being American. And people are saying, oh, Soros funded them. Ooh, the billionaires are the one in charge of the government right now, the USA government with Elon Musk and other people that are bowing the knee for the lying king. Those are the billionaires. That's another sign that was going out in the signs. It said something along the lines. It wasn't just hands off. There was another sign that said, the only minorities hurting the country are the billionaires. That was a kind of a witty one. There were many other signs of that nature that were going around the country, and we're hoping that people are going to wake up and keep fighting peacefully. Remember that. I kind of don't agree with the whole Tesla protest where they're like vandalizing cars. I don't agree with that. It's supposed to be completely peaceful. So there is no reason for the Justice Department or law enforcement to say, hey, they're violent, kill them. I mean, it can reach that point eventually, given what's going on and everything that has gone through in the past almost 3 months now. Now, this is my advice. Keep up the protest. Don't let it be this one thing. That's why I said earlier, darkness has settled in. Daytime is gone. So protests are over. But don't let this be a one-time thing. It needs to be like this every week if possible. Go out there and protest, organize, and this will make the change happen. People in Congress, elected legislators, are talking about what happened. They're paying attention. They're seeing so many people protesting. It's better than staying quiet and saying, yes, we bow to the Lion King. No, we cannot do that. If you do that, if we stay quiet, things are not going to get better. We need to protest to bring balance to what's going on. And include that the town hall meetings where conservatives have called out their conservative Republican elected officials. Some of them have even refused to hold town halls anymore because of everything that's going on. It is obvious the way Trump is doing this. There's criticisms about Trump, against Trump behind closed doors by conservatives and Republicans, that he's doing this way wrong. Even in Europe, conservatives in Europe, I'm calling him out. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Let's keep up the fight. Let's keep protesting. Let's not stop. Let's have protests like this every week, every week, every week, till we see change. Peacefully, always. Hasta la vista, baby.